Coming at you from the Alamo Drafthouse on South Lamar, it's the Psycho Bastardo Show.
You ready?
I think so.
We're here at Fantastic Fest, and what are you most excited about seeing?
I want to see Fred Claus.
I want to see
up.
Junkhead.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Come on. We're here with Thomas Aske at Fantastic Fest, director of Vidar the Vampire, and we're going to ask him a few questions about his film. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So let's start with like what brought you to Fantastic Fest and why you guys wanted to have your film here.
I'll start with the second question there. Fantastic Fest has always been sort of like at the top of our like film festival, like the most wanted list, if you will. So of course, like there's no way we're not going to submit our film to Fantastic Fest. And when we got the news that we actually made it to the festival, that was bonkers, pretty much.
Yeah.
That was like the best news ever.
That's so exciting.
Yes, absolutely.
Your film is playing again later this night, and I'm remiss to say that I haven't seen it yet, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about the film without, spoiling the plot or anything? Maybe like a 10-minute premise. Like where do we start in this narrative?
And it's totally okay to spoil it if we have to.
All right, okay. Well, Vidar the Vampire is sort of like it's a mix of genres. We call it a horror comedy, but we have lots of elements as far as like there are parts of the film that are basically written as music videos, written to songs from one of our main soundtrack artists called Generalversammlung. It's shot in sort of like in a documentary cinematography style. So it's just a mix of both genres and styles.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Is it a spoiler to ask what Vidar does for a living?
Vidar is he's a farmer.
Okay.
In the outskirts of Norway, so it's sort of like a redneck in a way.
Okay.
And he's
Not like your rednecks, I think.
no, it's a different kind of redneck. But
Well, all rednecks are the same in that they.
They're all the same.
Well,
You're racist.
No. I'm not. I'm making a class discrimination, not a race discrimination. I'm classist.
classist. Yeah.
No, I think that most rednecks are. They're not necessarily to be divided morally, but more just they are traditionalists.
Yes, very much so. That's
I-
very true.
yeah.
This explains y'all wearing overalls at y'all's premiere.
Yes, yeah. Those overalls are basically the Norwegian equivalent to John Deere. It's sort of like
Right.
John Deere farm
Western
equipment.
Okay.
equipment.
Yes.
That's very interesting. He's a farmer.
It's so weird because like I thought like putting on those overalls that like people look strangely at me, but it's it just fit right in.
Oh,
Everyone's
there's
just like,
people here
those are
wearing
some
the craziest things
Those
in
are
the
some
world.
fucking cool overalls you wear.
Yeah.
It's like, where do you get those? I'm like, yeah, back home in Norway, I guess. It's like everyone's so welcoming, and there's no like at this festival, which is a weird festival. No
In a
one's
good
weird
way?
That's right.
because
Yeah,
everyone's just being themselves, which I love. It's fucking great.
It's a good kind of weird.
I got another
Yeah.
question before I bring it to. You are both actors in the film, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. One more question for you. What I'm really specifically curious about, is there a kind of specific vampire lore for Norway that sets these type of Norwegian vampires apart from the more traditional like Carpathian, Romanian type of thing?
No, you know what? I correct me if I'm
don't
wrong.
actually-
We don't actually have vampire lore in Norway, do we?
Okay, so this is
Yeah.
Well, it might be some of the underground people that we call them that are bloodsuckers.
Yeah,
But we
yeah.
do not have a specific vampire lore in Norway. We
So
have
you guys are
only-
just vampire fans and grabbed it for the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way this project came to be is basically I'm a trained actor. Like I don't have any like formal like film education as far as directing or producing or whatnot. But starting out with this project, I have always had a fascination for vampire films, and I've always wanted to star in a vampire film. And back home, since we don't really have that vampire lore and all that stuff, that like there's just no way that's going to happen. So the way the concept kicked off was basically just, okay, how am I going to star in a vampire film? Well, the only way to do it is to write it and make it ourselves.
That's fantastic.
Yes, and once we sort of like knew that, all right, so we're going to make a vampire film, it sort of like all shifted to how the fuck do we make a somewhat original vampire film when there's so many of them. So that was sort of like the whole focus, trying to make something fresh and original in a very overused genre. So our film is basically, well, not without spoiling too much, like we've basically, in a way, made our own sort of like take on the Holy Bible. So it's sort of like a religious vampire film in many ways, but the main themes are religion, sex, and psychology. And the premise of the film is basically this farmer, Vidar Hori, Vidar Hori, who lives a very monotonous life at his like mom's farm in the outskirts of Norway, and he like desperately wants to break out of this routine life. So one day he prays to higher powers to just like, I want to get the fuck out of this mess. And unfortunately, his prayers are heard, and he wakes up one day as a prince of darkness in Sin City, Stavanger, which is a small city on the southwest coast of Norway.
But you call it Sin City. Is there like gambling and prostitution there? Like, why is it
Not
Sin
really,
City?
not really. But back home, it's like Stavanger is it's a great city, but at the same time, it's very, I don't know, like
But it's called Sin City. No.
yeah.
We call Las Vegas Sin City in the States.
Yeah, Stavanger is sort of like the oil capital of Norway. So there's a lot of money, or there used to be a lot of money, because like oil is starting to strike. So yeah, it's a sinking ship.
Gotcha.
Fortunately, so it's just like there's a lot of like partying stuff going on in that city. So that's basically why we call it Sin City.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get Linda involved with the project?
I played in a theater group, so he had seen me on stage, and I got like a post on Facebook if I want to read the script. And as soon as I read it, it was written in like our dialect, not in like correct form of Norwegian. And I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. So I read the script and I just, oh my god, this is crazy, this is funny, I gotta do this. So
I love hearing stories of where that works. Like you approach her through Facebook, and she responded and said, "I want to be a part of this." That's just so heartening to hear that these type of things really, you know.
Yeah. See,
she's not an old friend. You weren't in theater company together. Like,
but we.
Is in the special thanks of the movie, right? Yeah.
But we clicked as soon as I met like the UFO gang, him and the
our co-director Fredrik Vadeland. So
he couldn't make it.
No, he actually had to attend our Berlin premiere the very same day that we had our Texas premiere here at Fantastic.
Oh, awesome!
So we're fortunate enough to have like two directors, so we get to like divide the teams and attend several festivals at the same time.
And how about you? How did you get brought onto the project?
I did the Full Monty, the musical, and Thomas was part of that ensemble.
Oh, wonderful!
And he asked me to do this part. I'm the antagonist in the movie, and I turned him down because I found it a bit too blasphemic. But then he wouldn't stop. He made me read the script, and it's too wild to be blasphemic. Like it just blows blasphemic out of the way. So yeah, now I'm here.
Personally, I believe God has a sense of humor.
I think so too.
I mean, have you seen the platypus?
No, I haven't actually.
No, a platypus. It's like it's part duck, like part
Oh
otter.
yeah, the animal.
The actual animal platypus.
I thought you meant a movie.
No, I'm
So
using
like,
this as an
what-
example
what
of God's
movie is
sense of
that?
humor.
Yeah. True. Yeah, he must have a great sense of
No, I
humor.
mean, come on.
It's like laughing his ass off up there.
It's an otter, but it's got a duck bill.
Yes.
It's a mammal, but it lays eggs.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense.
I want to dive into the spoiler zone for a second.
Okay.
You played Vampire Jesus.
Yeah,
That's how you briefly described it.
Jesus, vampire, Satan is my definition of it.
Wait, you included Jesus and Satan in the same
Yeah,
definition?
it goes a bit both ways, I guess.
I think it's up for interpretation. Like whether or not his character is Jesus or Lucifer or one and the same.
That is incredibly cool. I am really interested to see that, and now I can see why you're like, it's a bit blasphemous to compare.
Well, my interpretation, I can speak for those who wrote the movie, but the character that I'm playing, he's speaking in kind of like Bible verses, but they're so twisted. So it's anti the biblical meaning for me.
Well, I've always thought, Satan appeals to you however he can, right? So why wouldn't he like go after that which is holy?
Yeah.
So as an actor, you can just be like, well, it's not blasphemic if I'm just being true to the character.
Yeah,
But-
fair enough.
But also, so like look at the facts of like what the Bible states. Like if you can compare Lucifer and with Jesus. I mean, they're both two like characters that are like thrown down from heaven by their father, and they're all sort of like just wandering the earth, gathering masses for their religion, if you will. So I'm thinking maybe there's one in the same. I don't know.
I want to see the movie now more than ever. that's such an incredible assertion.
It also has a lot of takes on our society today as well, both when it comes to especially the use of alcohol.
Is it contemporaneous? Is it set in the present?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I had seen the film so I'd have more specific questions for you, but now it comes as like the biggest kind of like, I'm so excited to see the film now.
So when the camera stops, we're swapping in to that. We're going to sneak in to see this fucking movie. That's going to happen.
Cool.
So what's next for y'all?
Well, as far as Vidar the Vampire goes, we're heading back home to Norway for a couple of film festivals, and then we're heading back to the States for a Screamfest, LA.
Sure.
And what else? Also New York City Film Festival. That's New York City Horror Film Festival is what I meant.
Do you have a distributor yet?
We do not. We are.
He says and looks into the camera.
Yeah.
No, we do not.
Information.
We are looking for a distributor. That's correct.
Yes.
We have like a lot of interested parties, but we don't know exactly which.
If they're real or not.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're just trying to figure out like the dealings.
And is this your first feature film?
Yes, it is.
Okay, now that you have a feature and now that you're in festivals and stuff, navigating this type of area is new to you.
Yes, very much so.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
It's
we're
quite
gonna
a
need
minefield.
it.
Yeah.
But like after Vidar's done, like we have several concepts that we want to explore, but we're such a small team. I mean, like Vidar the Vampire, it's a self-financed, micro-budget film. Where like on average, like day by day shooting this film, we were 4 people behind the camera. And when we first started out shooting a pilot for this film, we were 3. And so the director, like whoever was behind the camera, would all have to be both the director and, for example, a sound guy. So you'd have like the director standing with a boom in his hand while trying to watch the.
Been there, done that.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
It's a production without any room for divas. So
That's right. Yeah,
Yes.
it's like
you have to carry your own coffin.
there's only 5 of us here, so if you can't be here, you can't be here.
Yeah, it's true. So that's why right now doing this whole like festival circuit, trying to sell the film, we need to just like stay focused on doing that, and there's not much time for like creative thinking, writing, these sort of things.
Well, you're in the selling part right now.
Yes. Yeah.
That's exciting, though.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
a great place to be.
Yeah, and it's very much a learning experience, and I think that's been like one of like the best parts of doing like a total indie film is that you get to learn so much about all the aspects of filmmaking because you just have to.
Yeah, well, it's not like you worked out one muscle. It's like 10 different muscles are stronger now as a result, and now you're working on the selling muscle.
Yes.
And after you sell this film, that muscle will be stronger, and you'll have an easier idea how to go about it the next time. Though, as I understand it, doesn't ever get easier.
No. The positive thing is like we're Norwegian, so we don't actually talk to people. But
that's the positive thing.
No, I'm coming to the positive thing. The positive thing is that the movie has made interest. Like people are coming to take contact with Thomas.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't be great at that, would we?
And we're not networking machines.
No, not at all.
Do you mean the 2-3 of you, or do you mean Norwegians as
Norway
in
as a
general?
I would
we're
say
kind of a closed kind of people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
like it's a culture of introverts.
Yes, I think so.
A Norwegian
Yeah.
extrovert is an American introvert.
Okay. Wow.
Definitely.
That's an interesting.
Yeah, think about that.
Like,
But it's so cold.
is it-
Like, we don't go out and
I was
meet
gonna
people.
say that's
Yeah.
what it is. It's a function of the weather.
Yeah, definitely. We don't have a barbecue in the garden. You don't go out in the garden when it's
raining,
Yeah.
and it rains all the time.
yeah, definitely.
So this is completely unfilm related at this point, not just Norway related. Are there more just like, hey, everybody come over to my house inside and we're gonna do something
Nah.
together? Not even that. It's like, no, if you're here, you're here, and if not, stay where you're at.
Well, alcohol is a hell of a drug. So that lubricates like the social functions.
But is a lot of it like you're right down the street, but there's snow between here and there, so
Well, politeness in Norway. If I'm gonna leave you alone, and you're gonna leave me alone.
so you guys just don't call each other to hang out and go to the bar? Like,
No, I think
course.
he's exaggerating.
Okay,
He's
of
course I'm
exaggerating.
exaggerating. Yeah, well, I'm exaggerating, but
but to
there
a
are
much
some-
greater degree than in the U.S.
Oh,
definitely,
absolutely,
yeah.
I think people are more like forthcoming. I've lived in the States for quite many years, like both in New York and in California, and especially like California. I used to live at Huntington Beach, and I'd walk down the street there. People would just like say hello to you and say, "What's up?" Like, "What are you doing today?" Whatever.
Yeah.
Like people will talk to you.
Right.
That would never happen in Norway. Like people
Never
would,
happen.
people would just like walk with their like heads down, just like look at their shoes when they're walking forwards. But of course, like we socialize. It's not as exaggerated as
definitely.
Right, and people exist on a spectrum of, yeah, exactly. There's some introverts and extroverts.
I did hear that when we started going out to study and stuff like that, there has become a lot of jokes about Norwegians. And in Australia, they actually got a joke that is, do you know the definition of a Norwegian extrovert? That's someone who looks at someone else's shoes while they're talking.
Wow.
I've
didn't
never heard
know.
that one. That was pretty good.
I thought I thought if I traveled to Norway, it was going to be all fun and smiles.
Well, it would be because we love when
Nighttime when
someone
everyone's drunk. Oh yeah, I think.
That's
That's true.
part of the story.
That's true.
And that's a complete. If you know someone, then it's a whole nother thing.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
we're really
but-
close
yeah,
when
yeah,
we're
but
close,
you
but it
could-
takes a lot of time to get there.
Is there like a sense of like Norwegian hospitality?
No.
No. You're like, no.
I think they're
exaggerating
just
again.
You're like underselling your country so bad
That's
right
because
now.
I have been speaking to so many at Fantastic Fest, and every single one of them wants to become a Norwegian citizen now. Because they're just loving our country. Like, we're liberal, we have free healthcare, we have good welfare,
Yeah.
we have...
But you have bad weather.
Bad weather,
that's
yes,
the bad
but free
thing.
universities, free healthcare, free everything is like we
How
have.
often do I see the sun?
Once
during
a year.
Summertime, it's there all day long. Wintertime, not so much.
And we have at least 50 degrees during summertime.
At least, yeah. You'll be baking. Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to like throw out there to anyone listening before we wrap it up?
Well, as far as like if you guys want to follow us and stuff, we have like our like Facebook page is basically Vampyrvidar, which is VAMPYR Vidar VIDAR at Facebook.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
Likewise.
Psycho
This was
Bastardo. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Brigt, thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it, Hunter.
Thank you very much.
All right, welcome to The Real PBS. I'm your host, Hunter Wayne, and I got here with me today like a first-time stop-motion filmmaker, which it was a surprise to me, but we'll get into all of that here in just a bit. Got with me Mr. Takahide Hori. And so this was, I think, of everything playing at the festival, I was looking forward to this the most, mainly because of the short that was uploaded on YouTube, Junkhead 1, 2 or 3 years ago. And at the time, I thought it was just going to be content that would go up on YouTube whenever it comes out. And did you always have the intention of making a feature?
一番最初はクラウドファンディングでお金を集めて、そのファンからもらったお金だけで次の作品を作っていこうと思いました。
Because I think it was months after the Indiegogo closed that I came across the page at all, and I'm like, damn, I missed out on that. And clearly, everybody else back there missed out on that opportunity as well. Do you know when you think you would start back up in Indiegogo again, if you were ever to again?
次の続編の予定は、今全く決まってなくて。で他の作品を作る企画とかを出したりしてて、で、続編は、いいパートナーがいればそことやるかもしれないし、理想は自分のお金だけで作るようにして。
Well, I think after Fantastic Fest, you won't have to, just because people have taken notice clearly.
ちょっと質問したいけど、30分の短編を YouTube でアップした時にハリウッドのスタジオからいろいろ話が来たんだけど、その時は英語喋れなくて断ったんだけど、もしそういうハリウッドの大きなお金でジャンクヘッドを作るっていうことはうまくいくものなのかどうか、映画の業界を知らないからハリウッドマネーはいいのかどうかっていう。
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing I can't get over. Like, this was your first project, like the first ever experience with stop motion. You've never tried any more short-term projects, or was this his first time playing with stop motion altogether, like at all?
それまで知らなかったから、多分映像を作る人イマジナリーラインとか基本があると思うんですけど、最近知ったぐらい。
Talking about crap for just a second. In the short film, there's a monster with two faces. One of them is straight up like the asshole part of it that just craps out stuff. And in the short, the crap wasn't censored. What was the reasoning behind censoring?
映画本当に全部隠すんじゃなくて、あれもジョークで、最初はうんこにモザイクかかってたけど、その次のカットでは顔の方にモザイクかかってる。顔の方の口は実際は肛門だから、そっちの方が本当はモザイクが必要なっていう。
So that's so cool, because between that and some of the sort of inserts that were taken into the Junkhead 1 short, and also sort of a speeding up of the frame rate, it was like cosmetic changes like that almost made it like a fresh way of seeing the short all over again. I guess what was the reasoning behind speeding up the frame rate this time around versus leaving it as it was in the past?
意識してなかったけど、30分の方は初めて作ったから慣れてなかった。で、次の方が多少慣れてきたから、そうなったんだけどな。あまり意識してない。
And I guess as far as the art form of stop motion, like obviously the atmosphere was like very inspirational of H.R. Giger's stuff, as we could tell. But I guess the art form of claymation, what sort of filmmakers or projects really got you into that art form?
ビジュアルイメージはエイリアン、あとヘルレイザー。一番でも好きなのはキンザザっていう映画なんだけど、 多分同じ名前です銀河像。
And then I guess how far along in the pre-production for Junkhead 2 might you be?
ストーリーはもう大体考えてて、最後のラストシーンのイメージはあるから、そこに行くまでのストーリーを考えて、大体イメージはできてる。ラストシーンがあるから、そこに行くまで基本的にジャンクヘッドはロードムービーだから、ゴールはあるけど、そこまでの道のりは自由にいくらでも作れる。
Perfect. And then I guess if anybody didn't know, this is easily the most Fantastic Fest movie at Fantastic Fest. Like everything else, not the bash. I think if there was ever like a best an audience award, I think it needs to go to this. Like people just needs more exposure. Do you have any more plans on any more film festival?
今出品が決まってる映画祭が、6個か7個ぐらいあるんですけど、もういくつも行くところは多分ない。
So okay. Cool. Yeah, and then I guess if anybody hasn't seen the short online, go watch it. It's worth your time. And yeah, we'll let you go, and it was a pleasure. Yeah. All right, cool.
Thank you.
All right, later, y'all.
10 years! For 10 years, the words, the wit, the wisdom that has been spilt into this ring, this holy temple. 10 years of blood and sweat and all kinds of body fluids on this easily cleanable mat. For 10 years, our champions have come into this ring and they have fought and they have loved and they have made friendships and then broken friendships and then put friendships back together using several different parts from mini friendships to our Frankenstein friendship. Together, this has been a family. You know, it kind of reminds me of the beginning of time.
I lived like this for thousands of years. Thousands! And it's so difficult to find a virgin. I did find a few women who told me they are virgins, they were not! And I had to vomit.
They're dodging! They're floating! So far, no one's actually brought the hammer, which is ironic, considering the topic. Oh, a swing and a miss!
Thank you.
I can't believe I even have to stand up here and fucking debate this, but I want you to take a look around. And while there may be about half as many women in this room, I want you to know the women who are in this room are the badass, vicious backbone of this community. They do everything you do, except instead of backwards and in heels, they do it while often being fetishized and condescending. First off, if this was a year ago, I would be too fucking terrified to even be up here. But I am not fucking afraid anymore.
You know what else is funny to me? The fact that the star of Airplane vs. Volcano is talking about fucking high art. Oh wow.
I'm here to fight for my one true love, which is the blood-drenched Carrie.
Angry. It looks like everybody carrying around. 30 seconds left in this first round. Josh is protected only by his beard. Adam's running away. But John, no, he's back in there.
So things we liked.
Things we liked. There's a lot of things to talk about that we liked. You want to go first?
All right. Just this is like something for the audience movies. Fucking, if you thought Fred Claus was a shitty movie and you owe yourself a new opinion and Vince Vaughn, go watch Brawl and Cell Block 99.
Yeah, Brawl was really exciting. I loved it a lot.
Yeah, dude. Like, it was just really satisfying just to see him, like, beat motherfuckers up.
One of the most interesting things I thought about Cell Block 99 was like all those vintage sounding like soul tracks were like brand new and they like wrote them for the film. Did you know that?
I tried Shazamming them.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then
They're not old songs. They're like new that only exist for that movie. I was like, wow, good job at nailing that like kind of music.
That was badass.
Yeah.
And then you can't replicate that again. And then you saw Mom and Dad, right?
I did. I love Mom and Dad.
Okay, that's another one.
Also, it doesn't have a distributor yet.
Dude.
Which is crazy. And, you know, another one of my picks, Bodied, is probably my favorite film I've seen this week. Also doesn't have a distributor yet. And these are, like, excellent films, but I think it's funny that, I don't know, they're out there on the edge. I can see how distributors would look at them, watch them, and be like, wow, it's a great movie, but we're going to pass.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there was a lot of that just this year. Fucking the Coen movie, I wasn't ever a huge Larry Coen fan. Fucking.
Oh, yeah, I actually didn't see it. How was it?
He wrote a lot of shit that I loved.
He certainly did write a lot.
I watched Branded Forever and I thought that was awesome, and I had no idea his name was hiding in plain sight as the writer and creator of that. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. And he himself, like, I don't know. I like Maniac Cop, but otherwise, Cues are good.
Yeah, I like Q a lot.
But it was funny, whenever we were seeing Cell Block in the main theater, he was trying to sit in the reserved like seating area, and they told him he can't.
They told Larry Coen, you can't sit there? That's hilarious.
Yes. And then he came up, looked over, and basically did that thing that people there's like, what are we going to do? And looks at you for a solution. He's like, all right, where are all three of us going to sit? Looks at me. I look down the row at all the people sitting in seats and back at him. And then back at the screen, and I'm like, I like you, but not enough to give up my seat to you. And then behind me, some guy's like, oh, it's Larry Coen, let me get up. And then he just got up. And then he was sitting right behind me the whole time. And
wow.
So, yeah, I thought that was kind of funny.
That's hilarious.
I feel like I've been developing this track record of just, like, passing on people that wanted stuff if I gave it up, but I don't know.
Yeah, I also really liked Junkhead. I know you got to. I unfortunately wasn't there when you got to talk to Takahide, but man, that was another one of my absolute favorites of the festival.
That was so fucking cool.
I told other people. Some people were upset. It's sort of
that it was episodic.
Well, it sort of ends mid-narrative, but I'm just kind of like.
But
it was nearly 2 hours long, and I could totally watch another 7 hours of it. So I hope that guy just keeps making Junkhead.
But as you hear in the interview coming up, he is actively writing Junkhead while he's in town, the new one. Junkhead 2.
Okay, it's just
it's a straight up sequel,
and it'll just start right where that one leaves off, I assume.
Yeah,
wonderful.
and it's a continuous sort of like a thing that he has no intention of ending.
Well, and it's great. His universe is so kind of like he can reuse those same sets to like represent different levels in this like subterranean universe he's created.
Right.
And so I never think like, that alley I saw up on level 55. Like, who cares? You know,
they don't go by numbers,
right.
Which is awesome. It's just
up and down.
And that's the thing that's kind of cool too. Is just whenever there's a foreign piece, 2 countries worth of people can understand what's going on, but he has his own language for this thing.
Also very cool. Yeah, he's got characters speaking gibberish.
It's like I've been meaning to ask him like at the interview, but I didn't fucking ask him as far as like, is this a language you can teach at college? Like at some university, can you teach?
Did he actually develop a language like Elvish or something? Probably not.
That's why
maybe.
I noticed on the second time, like certain words to like associate to things that aren't proper or gibberish things, I heard again. So
maybe.
I would believe it though. Fuck, I need to email him but in the end, I ended up giving him a little Texas hospitality, a little bottle of bourbon.
What kind of bourbon did you buy him? I think that's what people are going to want to know.
Fucking, like the one with the deer on it, the one with the spike on it, that fucking, I don't know. The fucking bar guy downstairs said it was good.
Well,
I hope it was.
I'm sure.
Because that's hopefully the fuel of inspiration for the sequel.
Yeah.
But anyway. Anyhow, fucking. All right, that secret screening, fucking Death of Stalin.
You didn't like it.
It did not belong here at all. I could see it on TV by myself.
I will agree with you 100% that I felt it was out of place at the festival. I enjoyed it. It's probably a movie I would pay to go and see in the cinema. And I feel like, okay, well, now I don't have to.
Yeah.
But yes, I wanted something a little more mind-warping and surreal than... It was a silly British satire about Stalin. And again, I loved it, but it was not like that fantastic.
No. And that's the thing I've noticed this year, not the fucking bash, but bashing anyway. Like there's a fit, like it was the Netflix festival, it seems. Like
there were at least 3 that I know of that were Netflix films.
Wheelman, 1922.
Gerald's Game.
Gerald's Game, yeah. And then, I don't know. There was just a lot of that this year. A lot of documentaries. Like that were very good. Like I thought Gilbert was very good.
Sure.
Hilarious. Kind of makes you want to cry, but it's not for us, It's not.
Well,
for
it's I mean, it's like for us I don't think that's what I mean. I mean,
us
it's
is
for me.
A fantastic festival.
Yeah. I just wanted some more phantasmagorical like horror films. I wanted some more like
things
downright surreal fantasy movies, and Junkhead was like a great example of what I was looking for.
Things that you can't experience at a normal tradition. Like Junkhead it's the best, it's the most fantastic best movie here, but we will not see Junkhead at AMC or Regal Cinema or things like that.
Right. And also I thought, not my favorite film of the festival, but I also thought Let the Corpses Tan is like, that's the type of movie that I'm looking for at this festival.
Yeah, that was super crazy Belgian spaghetti
absolutely
western.
Nuts. And I guess I don't mean to be. Obviously, we like these types of films, and my comfort zone is a little further than other people's. But nothing, like very few things I've seen at this year's festival, really
nothing
pushed me.
Right, and that's what we've expected from Fantastic Fest all these years.
I think the most provocative film I've seen is Bodied. And it's not even like a horror or a sci-fi or anything.
I've been meaning to see that.
It's absolutely phenomenal. But again, it's not. It's just good. It's nothing fantastic. You know what I mean? It's not a genre film. It's not a genre film.
Another Fantastic Fest title that was really fucking amazing that had rap as a major thing was Tokyo Tribe, and that was a Fantastic Fest movie.
That movie's nuts. Yes,
that was fucking.
But that movie has like giant saw machines and gangsters with golden teeth and it was all kinds of crazy weirdness in that picture.
Like the fucking Warriors with like fucking rap battles and shit in there.
Tokyo Tribe's great.
My God. What was another one that is worth mentioning that was amazing? Or not amazing. Nothing was amazing besides those 3. What was your amazing ones? Like Let the Corpses Tan,
Bodied, Junkhead, and
I thought Cell Block and Mom and Dad are going to be things that everyone's going to see.
Cell Block and Mom and Dad are also phenomenal, yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like everybody's going to fucking see those, but we can't advocate enough.
Well, Cell Block 99 has a distributor, but Mom and Dad also doesn't have a distributor.
That's crazy, though. And yeah, that Q&A where the director wanted to straight up do some things that he didn't do, were just like, because that would have fit the mold so much better. It was already it was a suitable.
I can definitely see some stuff that they didn't include in that movie because people were just like, that's too much. Because the premise. Can we tell the premise to the viewers?
Yeah. Spoilers.
So
fuck you.
Spoilers. Yeah. But the premise of Mom and Dad is that one day all parents just the biochemical switch in their head that says to protect their children is flipped the other direction. So all parents become homicidal toward their specific children, which is an insane premise for a movie, but it's actually really amazing.
And the scale that's portrayed is really awesome.
It's like a George Romero movie. It's phenomenal.
And George Romero would have done an amazing job, but this was very good too, where it's like, even when your child is born, it's like you get to hold it and then you just fucking try to.
Oh man, there's a scene in the hospital. We can't talk. It's too much spoilery. But man,
it's
really crazy.
We said spoilers. It's on you. So
but still,
anyway,
it's
and then what else? Yeah, so much to talk about there. But that I was making an accusation in one of the previous takes that it was the most Nick Cage movie that I
in
can
a
remember.
long
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Probably at least in a decade and probably nearly 20 years.
Yeah, dude. Fucking.
Like Nick Cage gets to fly off the fucking handle in that
They
picture.
let
It
him.
is awesome.
They let him fly, and the director said he's gonna let him do it again in the same format, dude. They're making another movie with that motherfucker.
But not a mom and dad movie, just a
Well,
thing.
well, it's got Nick Cage in it, so it's gonna be nuts.
Sure.
It's gonna come back for the
I
next
mean,
year of one
as,
of these.
as great as he is, he's giving you what you expect and know he can do. I thought Selma Blair was like the secret weapon of that movie.
Oh, yeah.
She was really, really subtle, but still like completely amazing.
I never thought I would see her in a movie again after Hellboy, just as like a populist sort of movie watcher. Was she in shit after Hellboy? Or
I believe she was on a long-running TV show.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's good to see her back in a fucking movie, though.
I thought so too. It was a very cool
I
movie.
wish that Nick Cage and Selma Blair were my parents, even though I love my parents.
Even though they're homicidal.
Yeah.
Yeah, even homicidal, they would be cool.
Yeah, dude. My God. Okay.
Yeah,
you.
To recap, my 3 favorite films of the festival have been Bodied, Junkhead, and Brawl in Cell Block 99.
And then, yeah, for me, it's like, Let the Corpses Tan, and then Junkhead, and then Brawl and Cell Block. Just because if you go into it, like with everybody telling Vince Vaughn that Fred Claus is a shitty movie and he just beats up everybody after that, you owe it to yourself if all you've seen of Vince Vaughn was fucking Fred Claus.
So you heard it here.
Yeah.
You know, see the sequel to Fred Claus.
Brawl and Cell Block 99. Oh, dude, I love it so much more now. It's like his time as being Santa Claus didn't work out, and so now he's this fucking whatever. You gotta see it.
It's the Psycho Bastardo Show.
God.
Last day, man. How you doing?
Fucking bullshit.
Oh. Well, I had more fun than eating cake barefoot this week.
What?
Saw a lot of great films, had a lot of great interactions, and I am ready to rest.
Yeah.
Right? What's next? Rest, right?
No.
No. Then what's next?
We have to walk this Bastrop.
We have to walk to Bastrop.
Yeah, they couldn't give us a ride because, like...
I'm not gonna make it, dude. I cannot make it. I can't walk to Bastrop.
Well, don't say that out loud. Just, it's like, it'll be fine. It'll be like you didn't make it or something.
I
don't know.
I guess I'll try.
Yeah.